Hey, what's up? This is Joe. I'm going to talk about some fantasy for this year, 2015 season. I'm going to give some insight. I had dating back to like 2003. I made the playoffs every year. Got like at least 7 championships. Mainly, this is all PPR format league, but obviously standard goes as well. I'm going to give my personal insight. I respect everybody's opinions, so we'll talk about the running backs first. And I'm going to start with Adrian Peterson from Minnesota. I think this year he will have a better year. The whole year off should give him more. I'm going to say more everything, more yards. He's got North Turner there, so he's going to see more receiving yards out of the backfield. Just underrated team for this year. I really think they actually have playoff hopes for them. You can get them in the first round, first couple picks. I'd take them, and at least in the first couple picks. A guy I really like this year is Eddie Lacy from Green Bay. No Jordy Nelson, so I see a lot more dump ball passes to him this year. They like him in the red zone. He's going to get a ton of touchdowns this year, a ton of them. I'd probably take him number 1 overall in any format. Now, the next guy I'm going to would be Le'Veon Bell from Pittsburgh. Now, without his suspension, I would take him number 1 overall. But if I had the second and third pick, I'd still take him there, definitely. He's a guy that's going to get you like 800 receiving yards alone, not even counting the rushing yards and the touchdowns. I want his touchdowns to upgrade this year. That's about it, but high-powered offense. I can see them getting like 30, 35 points a game on average. The schedule's a little bit tougher, but Big Ben will come through for them. Next guy I want to talk about will be, let's shoot down to, I'm not even going to go in the order it's supposed to, but DeMarco Murray from Philadelphia. Guy I like. Now, last year, I thought he was going to be the best running back coming into the year. He did that job. He fit the bill. The only thing I'm worried about with him is him losing touches to Matthews and Darren Sproles. That's about it. But Chip Kelly knows how to utilize all those guys, so as long as he doesn't get hurt, we'll be alright this year. Jeremy Hill will be the next guy I'll talk about. I don't see Gio Bernard eating into his time at all. I think Hugh Jackson just wants to run the ball well with him. So, if I was picking later in the first round, I'd probably go wide out first and then take him. He'd be a running back I'd be looking at in the second round to take. I'd even take him over the next guy, Matt Forte. I think he's going to lose a lot in the passing game. And his touchdowns, as you've seen last year, did not go up. And I don't think they're going to go up this year either. He's actually a bust for me this year, Matt Forte. I liked him last year, but with Trestman now in Baltimore, I'm staying away from him. Speaking of Baltimore, Justin Forsett. He's a guy I really want this year in PPR. Their offensive line is so good. Flacco's just going to do dump ball passes to him all game. All game. That's going to be a pretty good offense to have this year. And I wouldn't mind taking him in the second pick, like round 2. Right where I would take him. Next guy, let's go to Frank Gore. Indianapolis welcomes him. I think he'll get a lot more catches in Indianapolis. The only thing I worry about with him is they weren't very good at running the ball. Age a little bit, but I'd probably still take him because of the offense that surrounds him. But I can see Dan Haran eating into some of his time on third down. We'll see how it goes, but I would take him in round 2 as well. Maybe even round 3 if I could get him. LaShawn McCoy, I want no part of him. If he has trouble in Philadelphia behind a big offensive line, great offensive line, dancing around instead of running right at you, I want my running back to run straight forward, not fucking East-West Coast shit. And that's another thing why I don't like him. Rex Ryan likes the powerhouse run. He's not built for that. Chris Ivory was when he was with him. You know, he's a big bust. He's more of a bust than Matt Forte for me this year, so I'm staying away from him as well. Latavius Murray, sleeper. I would take him this year if I could get him. I think as long as he don't get hurt, he's got 1,000-yard, 8-7 touchdown potential with him. I take him. Next, I would say we'll go with Carlos Hyde from San Fran. Big breakout candidate for me. It's been the Hyde show all preseason. I think it's going to go into the regular season as well. Only problem, you don't know what their offense is really doing right now. One secret I'll give out. I like taking a running back with a running quarterback. Reason being, a lot of read options. They fool the defenses a lot. So, Carlos Hyde, he's on my list for 1,000 yards, 9-10 touchdowns. Mark Ingram from the Saints. Love him. Love him this year. It's an improved offensive line. I think they're going to run the ball a lot more than people think they will. So, he's a good guy for about 10 touchdowns on the ground. We're getting him involved more in the passing game as well. Now, I know all the overhype with C.J. Spiller, and I like him and all, but I just think there's more hype just because of the name, and that's it. I don't like Spiller that much. I would take him in PPR, but I wouldn't reach for him, or I'll stay away from him. But he could still contribute in PPR. Next, we go with Amir Abdullah. I like him for a breakout. He's got potential. You know, Lions got a good O-line. But I just still see Joique Bell getting all them touchdowns still. And I like Joique Bell. You could probably get him at the end of your draft. Everybody's sleeping on him. They don't want to take him because of his Achilles and everything. If you can get good value for Joique Bell, that's when you take him. Arian Foster. Now that we know he has a possibility to come back by the end of September, I would love to get him. Somebody in my draft took him round 9. Great value on him. And a lot of people are going to probably try to trade him during the year to get him because he also has Forsett and Ingram. Great trio of running backs. Foster, when he comes back, could be top 5. Top 5 running back by the end of the year still, without a doubt. Let's see, who do we got next? Where should we go? Jonathan Stewart from Carolina. If he plays 16 games, top 10 running back with ease. The only thing I don't like about him is his injury prone, but anybody can get hurt at any given time. Maybe this year he doesn't. I'm going to tend to stay away from him. I don't know, just to be sure. I don't know. If I had to settle for him, I would, but that's about it. Next, I'm going to go with LeGarrette Blount from New England. As you know, they just cut Jonas Gray, so I guess Travaris Cadet's going to be the passing downs guy. They got a good offensive line. Blount, you know, he ain't looking too great in the preseason, but I don't really go by that. I think he can contribute well. The biggest thing I hate about New England, and they screwed me a couple times, even though I still made the playoffs anyway, you don't know what running back's getting the ball every week. And that's an issue, and I don't want that. I want the consistency. So if they start using him like as a starter every game, yeah, I think he'll put up good numbers. But if not, it's going to be hit or miss with him every week. So it's a gamble. It's a risky pick. Next, I'm going to go with Alfred Morris. Really bust. I think he's going to be a bust. I think if RG3 was playing, it'd be a little bit better for him, but it might be the Matt Jones show taking over. So, you got to settle for him. You know, he might get you like 7 or 8 touchdowns, but the consistency's not there with him. So, I'd rather pass on him. Next guy I'm going to go to is Melvin Gordon from San Diego. He can't pass protect. It's not good. I think Danny Woodhead, and might as well talk about him since we're in this backfield. I like Woodhead better in any format. I think he's going to get an increased workload this year, especially with Gates out the first couple of games. I'd rather have Woodhead. I'd rather see Gordon develop first, and then maybe next year see how he plays the first year before I try taking him. Rashad Jennings, New York Giants. I had him last year. He was good. He was good when he played, but when he was hurt, that's the only thing. He's another injury-prone guy, but in PPR, he'll get you numbers. The addition of Shane Vereen, but a lot of people don't realize, and one dude in my draft did this too. It took Shane Vereen over Rashad Jennings, and then he was like, well, if Jennings gets hurt, Vereen's going to be the guy. I'm like, no, he won't. They only use him for third down only. Andre Williams would be the 1-2 down back if that were to happen. So I'm just letting people know now. I mean, I'm sure if you like him, he's fine to take. If the Giants are down a lot in games, they might keep Vereen on the field more and do hurry-ups a little bit. Maybe he'll get some more work, but he's another guy. He's hit or miss every week. I don't want him. I'd rather have Andre Williams over him. But everybody's got their own opinion, so I respect that. Dallas Cowboys backfield. I like what I'm seeing from Darren McFadden. I like him better than Randall. McFadden's always been a 3-down back. Never really had a good offensive line. This year, again, if he stays healthy, top 15 possibly. But the only thing is, if they struggle a little bit, both of them, Dallas is going to have to pass a lot more. I think they're going to pass a lot more anyway. Because Murray is a great back anyway. It wasn't just the offensive line. DeMarco Murray is just a different type of back. He's phenomenal. So, we'll see what happens there. But if I had to settle for Randall, I would. I don't want him. I'd rather get McFadden in a later round as like a third or fourth running back and see if it's a lottery ticket. Now we'll go to Denver with C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman. Before the preseason even started, I said Ronnie Hillman's going to be the guy you want. He's looking great. Anderson's looking good too. Every year they do this in Denver. Oh, this guy's going to be this guy. Even last year, the guy in my draft that took Monte Ball, I said, dude, good luck with that, man. You're screwed. Nothing. It was the next guy in line. They overhype these Denver running backs. And don't get me wrong, running backs that played next to Peyton Manning in his career did phenomenal. Joseph Adai, you can keep going back and name more guys if you want. The problem is, it's another thing. Like that's a team I'd rather take the lottery ticket and get Ronnie Hillman later in the draft. But C.J. Anderson, as long as Hillman don't interfere, we all know Gary Kubiak likes to use one running back. So we'll see. But now he's saying that, if Hillman's riding a hot hand, they might just use him and roll with him more. So we got to wait and play the waiting game with him. Jamal Charles, Kansas City. I wanted him this year too, as much as Lacey. He's just a focal point of that offense in Kansas City, man. They throw to him, he runs. The addition of Macklin will take some pressure off him. Same with Kelsey. I like Kansas City a lot this year. I think they're gonna be a good squad. You can't go wrong taking Jamal Charles, no matter what format it is. So, especially PPR, I say go for Jamal Charles immediately. Jacksonville, TJ Yeldon is one of my sleeper rookie running backs coming in. Looking great. Possibly a 3-down back. That's another thing. When I draft running backs, I look at a lot of things. Number one, I look at the schedule. Because the schedules mean a lot, believe it or not. That's why I took Doug Martin this year, which I'll get to in a minute. Yeah, if you're alright, obviously if you take a running back from the NFC West, they got 6 games that are going to be rough for them. But I would still take a running back from there. It's just, I try to take running backs with easier schedules. Number 2, I look at their offensive lines. If they got a strong offensive line, that means more holes to open up. If the team has good wide receivers on that, it means safeties and corners are going to have to play back on them. That's going to leave more open room for the running back. That's another thing I look at. So I look at the schedule, the offensive line, and opportunity, meaning, is there anybody that's going to be stealing the carries away from them? I don't want nobody snaking my guys' touchdowns at the goal line. Now, I know it's hard to get two guys like that, especially in the 12-team league. It's a little bit harder. You got to really know what you're doing. But if you can get one, at least one, you're in good shape. Now we'll get to Doug Martin. Love him. I like taking, it's another thing, secret. I like taking guys in a contract year. I did it with Dez last year, even though Dez is at elite level anyway. He's not repeating that 16 touchdowns again this year. It's not happening. But it'll still be good. Doug Martin's a guy I like because of a contract year. Number one reason why I took him, dude, the NFC South schedule it's insane. They got the easiest schedule ever. I even wanted Atlanta running back. It's just I don't know which one they're going to use. So that's about it with that. But Doug Martin's a 3-down back. As long as he holds up his end, they're going to give him the rock 20 times a game. You know, you got Evans and Vjax on the outside. Their tight end's good. Severian Jenkins, I guarantee he has a good year. He might not break, not maybe record-breaking numbers, but he's a breakout. A lot of people have him as a sleeper. I have him as a breakout. Let's see the rest of that division. Let's go to Miami. Lamar Miller. He's another guy I really like this year a lot. A lot. I think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. I think they might even beat the Patriots for the top seed in the AFC East. Again, it's just opinion. But I like what I see from Lamar. He's catching passes out of the backfield more. That's going to be a tricky offense, man. They got a lot of weapons on that team. I took Ryan Tannehill as one of my quarterbacks in the 12th team. I paired him with Matt Stafford. I'm going to play the matchups with them all year. So, Lamar Miller, go get him. Should hold up. You should. Definitely the better guy on the team to take. I don't know really about the other rookie. I don't think he's going to eat into any of his time. Might get a couple of third down catches, but that's about it. Let's see what division we're on now. New York Jets, Chris Ivory. Like him a lot this year. I really do. I think he's underrated. And I think he's a good RB2 to have. I wouldn't mind having him as an RB2. Not at all. So, if you can get him as your RB2, I would take him. Tennessee, Bishop Sankey, that backfield's a mess. I took Bishop Sankey in my draft as my last running back to take. It's a lottery ticket. If you don't do good, I'll drop him. He's making a couple good runs in the preseason, but I still think David Cobb might end up being the better back there. But we'll see like how his pass protection is. It's hard with committee backfields. That's why it's really good to lock up 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds. I mean, I know people want Luck or Rodgers. They want that solid one quarterback, but I'm going to make a video about wideouts and quarterbacks too. Quarterback is the deepest position. There's so many good quarterbacks, and you can just load up on running backs and wideouts the whole time. You don't have to have a top quarterback to have a winning fantasy league. It's all about depth. It's all about, like, I'd rather, like, these guys I see, they take 2 kickers and 2 defenses. Why? It's a waste of a roster spot. Load up on the running back and wide out because you never know when guys are going to get hurt and you're going to need the depth. You make trades with the right guys, not the guys that want to offer you their worst guy for your best guy. You know, there's always guys in the league that will do straight up fair trades, and you do the waiver wire. Waiver wire is very important in fantasy. It's extremely important. Let's see. AFC East, West, North. I think the last one I think he should be the last one on the list. Isaiah Crowell from Cleveland. Only thing I don't like about Cleveland is their schedule. Isaiah Crowell was alright for a couple of games last year. It's just I'm staying away from everybody on Cleveland this year. Everybody. Sorry, I text message all fantasy stuff. But I'm staying away from that backfield. I want to see how they progress first. We'll see what happens. St. Louis, Todd Gurley, Trey Mason. Same thing. I don't want to take either one of them. It's a tough division. You know, I saw Carlos Hyde. I know he's in the same division, but I think he's going to get 18 to 20 touches a game, and I'm not worried about Reggie Bush at all. We'll get a couple third down. He might only be a change of pace guy. The only way I see Reggie Bush really being a factor is if Hyde gets hurt, or at third down in some games, they might keep him on the field more. We don't know how their defense is. I'm not high on their defense this year, even though, you know, it's the NFC West. They usually all have good defenses. That's the only defense I'm a little concerned about from that division is San Fran. And then in the AFC, the defenses you want are from the AFC East. I think that might be a tough division this year. But we'll get to that too in a different video. But I think that should wrap it up for the running backs anyway. See, AFC East, West, talked about all them. AFC North, AFC South, NFC East, West, North, South. Alright, that about wraps it up for running backs, but I'm going to do another video on wideouts, another one on quarterbacks, tight ends. I'm not really going to do any on defenses. I mean, I'll talk about them in some of the videos, like when I'm doing the other position, but real quick though, AFC East, Jets, D, Miami, Buffalo, New England. I mean, it's funny because it used to be the AFC North, like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Not anymore. But it's great to have fantasy back. I just wanted to give my insight, you know, little secrets that I've used over the years. Like I said, schedules, offensive lines, coaching changes. I mean, it means a lot in fantasy. It really does. Some guys will be like, oh, schedules don't mean nothing. I'm like, dude, if you're playing a team with shitty defense every other week or almost every week, why wouldn't you want that? It's all about opportunity. But my next video, I'll do maybe top 50 wideout, something like that. But just figured I'd give you guys some insight. If you like, it's fine. If not, you know, like I said, I respect everybody's opinions, but, you know, hopefully it's a good fantasy year for all you guys. Alright, see ya.